So I'll be talking about cancer. So before I talk about it, I will need to mention about different cell cycles. So the cell cycles would be starting from G1, which is a growth phase, and then moves on towards a DNA S phase, which is also understood for DNA synthesis. And then again it moves on to a second growth phase known as G2. And once the G2 is completed, it enters a state of mitosis. So mitosis takes place, the cell divides, giving rise to daughter cells. So now, typically it's just one daughter cell. So there's a parent cell and daughter cell. So the daughter cell is now a replicate of it. So this process gives rise to a new cell. So each of the stages that I mentioned, they also act like checkpoints. In the sense, at each of these locations, there is a control, whether the cell cycle is going in a controlled manner or if there is uncontrolled replication. When a cell undergoes uncontrolled replication, that is when it becomes malignant, or it tends to become cancerous. But it doesn't really become immediately as dangerous as one would say it. So if initial phases it's benign, and then it becomes malignant. So now let's say we have some malignant, or initially we say just it's a neoplasm that is benign. So how is this going to spread? This is going to spread in the sense, first it's going to increase in size. So it becomes more vascular, grows in size, and then sooner or later it is going to invade adjacent blood vessels. So, but before that, it could have some kind of direct impact on the organ which it is residing or adherent to. So beyond that, vascular invasion, lymphatic invasion, and systemic dissemination. And once that happens, once it becomes systemically disseminated, in the sense it becomes embedded, or it becomes metastasized to different regions of the body. And once it goes to different region, it creates symptoms specific to that system. For an example, if it goes to the respiratory system, coughing, hemoptysis, meaning bleeding when you cough. Then it could be the liver, causing abdominal distension, and the same for the kidneys. Finally, management. Management in the sense we'll be talking about chemo as well as radiotherapy. Chemotherapy is where either oral or intravenous cytotoxic drugs are administered. And so because these drugs are cytotoxic, they not only affect the cancerous cells, but they also tend to affect the normal cells. So there are some really adverse side effects, and they tend to be given in cycles because of that. And side effects could range from hair loss, nausea, vomiting, and so on. And recurrent, because this puts you in a state of being immunocompromised, you're more likely to get infections, and so care has to be taken. Another one would be radiotherapy. So radiotherapy is where radiation is used to decrease the tumor, to damage the tumor cells. In certain instances, both can be combined together. Like in the sense, sometimes chemotherapy can be used to reduce the size of a tumor prior to a surgery for easier resection, like such. So again, the best way would be to catch this at the initial phases, and to do that, certain markers can be used, tumor markers.